situation with a tornado we know has caused damage.
Yeah, Dalton, do me a favor. If you can track Sulphur Springs, see Sulphur Springs there to Idabel, how far is that? Because this tornado has produced quite a bit of damage near Sulphur Springs. That's what you're looking at the top right of your screen. So we're well over 70 miles now.
And it's been going at highway speed, so it's, even though it's been moving fast, it's been on the ground for more than an hour.
So we we can't emphasize enough, please get in your safe place immediately if you live in McCurtain County in Oklahoma. If you live in Idabel or have family there, let them know, tell them to run to the basement, to a storm shelter if you have one. That's your best bet. Basement, most interior room. If you don't have a basement, get out of a mobile home. I mean, this tornado is approaching Idabel literally as we speak and moving right into the city. I mean, look at that. So while the correlation coefficient doesn't look that prevalent yet, it's probably coming across some more rural areas, and then we'll likely pick up a lot more debris now as it's coming into Idabel proper.
And there are more communities downstream from Idabel, too, that are in the tornado warning that need to be taking shelter. Broken Bow is one of them, and if we zoom in, we might be able to see on the timing here, other communities like Crossroads, even Mineral downstream. If the supercell holds together, you're not in the warning right now, it could be on you within a half hour or so. So, Chris, we've been giving heads ups to people who are downstream, not in the warning yet. Because of these long-lived supercells, you got to have a way to get to your safe spot immediately when that warning is issued.
So if you are in Idabel, literally this tornado is coming upon you as we speak. Broken Bow, you saw the timing on there. I mean, we're talking 10 minutes, Dr. Knapp, 10 minutes. A tornado emergency that's in Idabel moving up towards Broken Bow. And again, some of these are the most populous communities in this part of Oklahoma, in far southeastern Oklahoma and McCurtain counties. And they're both under tornado emergencies right now in anticipation of that catastrophic damage that is anticipated. And what we've already seen. I saw some ground truth of what it's done to trees north of Clarksville along the highway, kind of missed Clarksville, passing by to the north. I mean, we're talking massive oak trees, Dr. Knapp, that have been totally uprooted. Very strong signs that this is a high-end tornado, too, probably on the order EF3 or stronger.
Yeah, and some of the communities in the Bagwell, Clarksville vicinity, and the roads in between there in Texas before it crossed into Oklahoma, it may have hit structures there that contributed to what we see in the debris signature from the correlation coefficient. But the velocities are more than enough to be very convincing that this tornado is likely right over Idabel right now and headed quickly north and east from there. And now, places like Broken Bow are about to get perhaps the full brunt of this. It is, going to be probably lasting beyond the zone that's in the tornado emergency. So we have to be ready to move very quickly, even if you are farther north and east. And a tornado emergency means that we've got a catastrophic tornado situation, Chris, that we know that has caused damage and is moving into damage more communities.
So you can get an idea. I'm seeing a video that we can't air with you yet, but it shows what appears to be a wedge-type tornado.
Yeah, so that's one that is wider than it is tall.
Yeah, not a narrow, small, compact tornado. We're talking a pretty large tornado, probably on the order of a half mile or more in size, and likely on the higher end scale, EF3, EF4, and potentially EF5. Again, we won't get an exact rating. Again, they assess that well after, once they get a look at the damage. But I wouldn't be, Idabel, as you know it, may very well be different in just a few minutes.
Yeah, and there's just tremendous potential for additional damage, but we already know it has been a damaging tornado, and that velocity signature is right over Idabel right now, Chris. So that means the mesoscale cyclone is right over the town, and with the images we're seeing of how wide of a tornado this probably is, the damage path could be extremely wide, and is why communities downstream need to be taking shelter right now. So you have to assume that this is not just going to go away once the area that's in the tornado emergency, the system moves out of that. So if I'm in DeQueen, for example, I'd be getting ready now. Or, in Arkansas, or at least be aware of the situation and be ready to get a warning and go to your safe place immediately, because these supercells have a history of lasting multiple tornado warning cycles.
Yeah.
Over an hour, this has been damaging on the ground.
If we can track this out, let's track it out long range, Dalton, if you can, and let's take it out past the emergency and then into Arkansas, south of Mena. So if you live south of Mena in Arkansas, you need to start thinking about getting into your safe place. We can time this out. Look at it. Broken Bow, we're within 5-10 minutes.
And you might be thinking, Mineral, well, I'm way over in Arkansas. I'm long way. It's only a half hour away.
Yeah.
If it holds together.
Half hour away. Look at, what are we looking at there on the bottom right of the screen? It looks to be some sort of storm tracker in some sort of storm. It looks like the footage stopped, but it looks pretty intense. I don't know what cell or storm this video is coming from, but again, this is just impact. If we can switch to, okay, that video was near Sulphur Springs. That was the back edge coming through.
Now, again, same supercell.
Yep.
That has lasted for well over an hour and has a long history of producing damage.
Look at this. I mean, downtown Idabel is right over the center of where there's a tornado. I mean, there's a tornado on the ground in Idabel. And Broken Bow, this is literally coming into your vicinity. I mean, we're only 11 miles away. It's moving about, how fast did we say it was moving?
It's moving northeast like at 50.
To get into your safest spot you can. You need to run there, especially on a tornado emergency like this. This is not something we get very often, a very rare event, and when it happens, it is catastrophic. And these are moving into not the edge of town. This is moving right into these cities. So we're looking at the correlation coefficient, and that's interesting to see debris, which will likely become more evident now that it's moving into a more populated area. But notice how we're rewinding back in time to 6:30 local time. Notice it right there west of Clarksville, pushing to the north of Clarksville, okay, and produced quite a bit of damage crossing over some of these rural areas. It weakened a little bit, not the tornado, just the debris got lofted and was carried so far and then stopped, probably because this area is pretty remote. So there's a lot of just trees, and near the Red River you've got pretty rural areas, so there's not as much, say, structural debris to pick up. But then notice it picks back up again right here in Idabel, and then that's what we're dealing with there. And now we're transitioning over to another tornado warning. So we're
another tornado on the ground, another observed tornado in Texas, not far from Dangerfield, Texas.
And these are including Bowie, Cass, and Morris counties. This includes Boston, Dangerfield, which you mentioned is right near where this tornado is. It's confirmed. And look at that. Man, look at that velocity just south of Highway 67. Dr. Nav, I think this is moving right into Naples, Texas. Probably, I mean, what's our time here? You know, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, guys.
And again, this is
Naples, Texas.
And again, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground, about to cross US 259 between Omaha and Dangerfield, and it's got a well-defined tornadic debris signature. So again, here we go. Both the velocities and the correlation coefficient, which again, when you say we have a data set here that tries to correlate what objects the radar is detecting. And when it's something that doesn't look like the rest of the particles in the atmosphere, the meteorological particles, the debris is almost certainly coming from the ground.
Look at that.
With the tornado picking it up. And when you got velocities and the correlation coefficient lined up, then you've got a tornado on the ground. And so this is moving very close to Naples, Texas, quickly off to the northeast.
Look at that. It's getting that notch. It's very concerning. I mean, everything's lining up, Dr. Nab, for these supercells to just take off and explode and produce very high-end, strong, and long-lasting tornadoes. Naples, we mentioned, Naples Naples, Texas getting in about 5 to 7 minutes from now. That tornado will be right overhead and then pushing northeast from there into Bassett, Texas by 7:17 p.m. And then if it holds together, which very likely will, on the north end of that warning, you've got Boston, Texas, and that's along Highway 82, not far from Texarkana, by about 7:30 p.m. local time.
And this is moving northeast at about 45 miles an hour. So again, nearly highway speeds as this moves along. So if you're in Boston, Texas, west of Texarkana, you're thinking, well, the weather's fine. What are you talking about? But it could be just a few minutes with a fast moving tornado that it could be on you. And by the way, crossing Interstate 30 west of Texarkana. If you're in Texarkana and you have any idea or know of anybody who's headed west on Interstate 30, get them off the road. Call them. Tell them. Do not get on Interstate 30 west of Texarkana because this tornado could be crossing within the next several minutes.
All right, I see several new tornadoes. See, the warnings are being extended. Is that where these are
no,
being located?
these are east and southeast of Fort Smith.
Oh, wow. So we're well to the north now of this tornado emergency, where we've got catastrophic threat. Now, the south side of Fort Smith, Arkansas, you're under a tornado warning, brand new tornado warning. Again, radar indicated until 7:45 p.m. That includes Franklin and Sebastian counties there on the south side. So get into your safe place immediately if you live there. If we look at velocity, I think this is maybe one or two areas of rotation. Looks like one, and it's right there, right near U.S. Highway 71. Very strong signature, though, but right between Hartford and Lewis. Okay, this is in Arkansas now, south of Fort Smith, and yeah, there's some very tight-knit rotation. This is a very concerning cell that's moving right over Mansfield, Arkansas, right now, getting into Dayton or just south of Dayton by 7:08 p.m., and then moving up towards Washburn, Arkansas by 7:15 p.m. So get into your safe place immediately there if you live in those communities in Arkansas on the south side of Fort Smith.
And Chris, there's even tornado warnings as far north now as just east of Fayetteville,
Oh, there
Arkansas.
we go. Yep, right there in northwest Arkansas, Madison, Washington counties, a brand new tornado warning. This is for Durham, Huntsville, and looks like this is moving into Huntsville. You're under the warning, and this is until 7:45 p.m. Velocity didn't show anything. There is some area of rotation. This one not as treat this seriously. You've seen how a lot of these tornado warnings have just, exploded in, danger within just a few minutes.
Well, Chris, we want to check in with Charles Peak, our storm tracker. He's live in Sulphur Springs, Texas, where we are obviously seeing some damage. And I don't know if Charles is able to hear us and talk with us, but he's certainly got the images there where you've got the damage to the homes and the trees. And look at the vehicles under there, Chris.
That damage.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Charles, we hear
there.
you.
Yeah, Charles, so you're in Sulphur County, Texas there. Describe to us the damage. What kinds of structures have been damaged?
From this vantage point, I can't, because of the tree, get around to the backside, but the backside of the house is pretty well completely destroyed. Talking to the homeowner, David and his wife had got into this truck that you see up here, and we're going to go get some catfish for dinner when this tornado hit, and they were trapped in the truck. First responders were able to get here and cut away trees, and everybody is okay here, fortunately, in this situation. There is a report, as the tornado would have continued to the northeast from here, of another house that it has damage, but I have not been able to get there just yet.
Charles, how far out from the city are you? It kind of missed the city proper, a couple of miles?
Yeah, I came from the south. It shows me, like if I put in GPS, it's showing me 16 miles from Sulphur Springs.
Okay.
And this is back just to the east of Miller Grove and south of Brashear.
How much of the area seems to be without power? I mean, how widespread have the effects been, as far as you can tell?
Well, it's hard to tell here. It's a very rural area. There's a house across the street from here. They don't have power. This one doesn't. But literally, I can't see any other houses. I did talk to one neighbor that had some footage of the tornado that he was able to capture. And he's without power about a quarter of a mile away as well.
And Charles, you know, when you and I have talked in the past after tornado damage has occurred, we've often talked about how different kinds of structures fare differently. Have you seen any examples of that, even though it's been a short time?
No, Dr. Nab, this literally is the first one I've come up on with the damage. This is a well-built brick home with brick walls taken down from this tornado, and on the back side of it, large trees broken and such. But this is the first house that I've actually come upon with this damage, so I really can't answer that for you.
Yeah, and those cars that are underneath the trees, can you tell how damaged they might be? Were they tossed about at all?
No, sir, it doesn't look like it. It looks like this big tree fell on top of them, and that may have happened at the very beginning of it. That's, again, just my supposition, but they were trapped in it. It does not look like the cars were moved much. This side of the house, as you can see, I'll try to show, the front of it has this little roof damage. The walls are there, but on the back side of it is where you have the and then I'll come out here. You can see this large tree that was taken down.
Yes.
But on the back side over here is where you can see it was a two-story house. It looks like in the back part of it, the second story. Obviously, the reason we always say go to your lowest area. But needless to say, a fortunate situation that with them being in the vehicle when this hit, that they weren't injured.
Did they have they said they were going to go get dinner, it sounded like, and did they know there was a tornado warning when they were about to head out?
Chris, I wasn't able to ask that. He's in the vehicle. It started raining just as he got here when I was able to question what their warnings were before. Needless to say, based on what he was telling me, they were not concerned about weather at the time and didn't feel like it was something that was going to impede their dinner plans.
I mean, Dr. Nab, that's kind of the nature of the how quickly they're moving, though, because they could have been, maybe they were checking in on where the warnings are. They probably weren't in one. And then by the time they were gathering their belongings, heading out, they're going to grab dinner really quick, come back, they probably issued that warning without even realizing it was it was for them.
Yeah, because it may have been seemingly calm outside, and then how quickly things change when storms are moving 50-something miles an hour. Now, Charles, since we're not on the ground there like you are, what's your mindset? Well, what do you want to find out next? Where are you gonna go next?
I'm going to go to this other home that is in the area and check it out. It is a situation that I'm going to be here in the morning with Mike Seidel to report here. And it was interesting what you just said, Dr. Ned, you and Chris. My father-in-law lives just northeast of Ennis. And when my wife called, I told her to call him, make sure he knew there was a tornado warning earlier this evening coming right down 34. And she called him, and he was literally walking around outside because it wasn't even raining. But she was fortunately able to convince him to go inside into a safe spot. And, it doesn't look like his house was hit at all. But like you say, it's a situation when you're not knowing exactly what it is. Hang on, David just walked over here, and I will ask him that question. David, quick question for you. In studio, they wanted to know, did you get a warning before the storm hit? And you just felt like you still had time to go get dinner and everything? Okay.
Get warnings all the time. There's two warnings come over our phone.
Okay.
We've heard of the Tornado Highway 19 on Facebook, but they didn't say north and south side streets. Well, it's close to that.
Okay.
So I backed up, got 3 seats, picked up the bed, raised up, went over, and the tree landed on my hood. I looked at the roof down.
Wow.
Didn't hear anything.
Now, having gone through this, would you do things a little differently?
I was in good place. Lord was with us.
Okay. All right.
I believe it. Did you look where a tree limb is? I had a hand pull me over. They didn't have poles on the inside of my house. You see back when I picked up right in 10 posts up there?
Okay.
If it hadn't pulled me over,
All right, I'm with Lynn. Okay. Yeah, what he was saying, Dr. Nab, is that they had 2 different warnings come across on their phone. They even saw on Facebook that Highway 19 had one, but felt like they get warnings all the time and wasn't something to change his plans for.
Right. So, Chris, there's a couple of things we can learn from that rendition of how things happen. One is, if you know somebody who's in a tornado warning, give them a call just to see if they've heard and if they're taking the right steps. And also, if you get a warning, trust it that it is a life-threatening situation, and don't get on the roads and go to your lowest level, most interior room immediately.
Yeah, this isn't your everyday tornado threat with a couple isolated tornadoes. This is every storm is becoming tornadic, a type of event, and they are quickly becoming dangerous tornadoes.
In some days there are tornado warnings. Today there are confirmed tornadoes, damaging tornadoes, tornado emergencies, long-lived supercells. This is a collection of tornado are high-end situations.
So you mentioned that tornado emergency. They've downgraded it now to a tornado warning. It's still very dangerous because this has been confirmed. It is going to be really, I think, eye-opening when we get first light in the morning to see the kind of destruction in Idabel. But you mentioned DeQueen. Now they're under a tornado warning.
Considerable threat, too. So just because it's not tornado emergency doesn't mean it isn't exceedingly life-threatening.
And look at that. I mean, this has traveled now. It missed Broken Bow, so it went right through Idabel and now just missed Broken Bow to the east side. So it's kind of heading on the more easterly part of the track. That would bring DeQueen, or at least the western part of DeQueen, Arkansas, and then Mineral. I would run to your safe place. This storm, look at the wind velocities on this still. Well over 100 miles per hour. And I mean, what's the correlation coefficient looking like now that has gone through Idabel? We can see, oh, wow, look at that. I mean, there's a lot of returns. There it goes, moving through, likely right in that area. And then as it leaves the city, it starts to lose the debris. It doesn't travel forever.
Yeah, and what it looks like, though, is that you get point sources of debris.
Yes.
And then it gets lofted into the air and transported probably tens of miles downstream and spread out.
Yeah, and then at that point, it's probably well outside the city. It's in a rural area. It's probably just leaves and minor debris of that nature. And then the signature kind of disappears for a little bit until it hits its next point. So just because it's weakening from the debris standpoint doesn't mean it's any less dangerous. So take that seriously.
And farther south, look at this one, Chris.
Yeah, considerable threat tag. This one, again, observed, Dr. Nab. And again, right near, this just went through Naples. I bet this one has a debris signature too. If we look at it here, there it is. Yep, right through the heart of Naples, and kind of moving along Highway 67 here in North Texas, moving in the vicinity of Boston. So take shelter immediately.
Some people like to talk into microphones. We prefer dropping them. The MDX Type S, a new era of premium performance.
Looking for something like this?
Superheroes are everywhere, in our movies, communities, and running our small businesses. And they can grow online securely with MasterCard tools, extending their reach far beyond the storefront. Because when you see the superhero you can be, that's priceless. MasterCard is proud to support Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
In the world of Ninja, kitchen tools never take a day off. Because neither do you. Surfaces won't stick, chip, or flake thanks to Never Stick technology. Knives stay razor sharp for over 10 years with a Never Dull sharpener. In the world of Ninja, a kitchen that never stops deserves cookware that never compromises. Meal after meal, use after use, time after time after time. Ninja kitchenware. Never stick, never dull, never stop.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Contestants ready? Go! No. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. ready, time to start it up. Let's go! Better get ready, it's about to bust.
Almost there.
It's getting better, getting better.
2 minutes completed. Burn calories.
It's getting better all the time. I think I'm gonna make it mine. Let's get together, yeah.
These goldfish megabites are too big and cheesy to go for the handful.
The Bohrmann found a way. Tiny hands. Tiny handful.
That's still one of...
Mega size, mega flavor. Our craftsmen begin each day perfectly seasoning our Hillshire Farm smoked sausage so that you can end each day crafting a perfectly delicious dinner. Hillshire Farm, made right on the farm.
This holiday, where can you save time getting everything off their wish list and even more time checking everything off yours? Lowe's, actually. Find everything you need and more this holiday at Lowe's.
I'm Mike Corey.
There's a cocktail of excitement and terror.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
Hi, William Shatner here. It's the Medicare annual enrollment period, and this year, it's simple. 1, before the deadline, call the number below. 2, check your zip code for a Medicare Advantage plan with prescriptions, dental care, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security. Find out what you're eligible for. AEP has a deadline. Call now.
I called to find a plan that covers more of my dental expenses.
I call every year to make sure my doctor is still in my plan.
I called to find a plan with lower copays.
I called to see if my zip code has a plan with a benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I call every year to make sure my plan's copays didn't go up.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. You should too. AEP has a deadline, so don't delay. Call now.
Call 1-800-975-4570. That's 1-800-975-4570 now.
Currently in our area, 62 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 58, winds light and variable. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 76, winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly to mostly cloudy, low 61, winds south. Our 7-day outlook.
The power of the Weather Channel, now available to everyone.
This is epic!
Trusted live coverage when it matters most is now yours to stream with the Weather Channel TV app, real-time radar, and maps that let you track all the action.
Let's get into the details.
Personalization, customization, hundreds of hours of your favorite shows, and so much more. There's never been a better way for everyone to watch the Weather Channel. Available now on these platforms. Go to streamtwc.com to start your free 7-day trial.
All right, breaking right now, we're taking out to Fort Smith, Arkansas, where there's a lot of law enforcement and emergency crews out on scene. It's hard to get an idea of what we're looking at, but apparently some sort of vehicle incident happened here. We know Fort Smith gusted to 65 miles per hour not that long ago as severe thunderstorms roared through the area and numerous tornado warnings south of town, Dr. Knapp.
And so they were under a severe thunderstorm warning. They're now under a flash flood warning. So at the very least, we've had very slick roads, if not ponding and maybe some flash flooding on the roads, but also the really strong winds. And now you see some responders who are coming back up to the emergency vehicle on the road, but they're coming up the hill from what looks to be what they're responding to downhill. So there may have been some sort of vehicle incident that took the vehicle or someone into danger down the hill off the road there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if this is a bridge or an overpass, or maybe it's just, I know this is I-40. I'm not sure which direction. Yeah, I-40, either looking west or east. I've been here. It kind of drops down just before you get into the state line with Oklahoma. So visibility at the time this happened probably really low. We were actually looking at Fort Smith, Arkansas, when the storm came through, and it was wild.
Yeah, very, very strong winds with that severe thunderstorm warning. But obviously something significant has happened here with multiple emergency vehicles on scene. And it's just a reminder, Chris, how dangerous it is to be out on the roads tonight for so many reasons. If for no other reason that the roads are slick and you could easily hydroplane. There could be ponding, some flash flooding. Then we got the severe thunderstorm winds. But also, you don't want to be out on the roads in a tornado watch situation, because then you find yourself quickly in a tornado warning, having to scurry to get to shelter. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, and now that it's dark, it's impossible to get the visual confirmations that we're dealing with.
See those folks walking up the hill toward the road on the left side there?
Yeah.
So there's responders, they're attending to something or someone down the hill from the road.
So Fort Smith, the worst of the weather has passed. Now to our east, we're still under that flash flood threat though, so there are areas probably taking on water, high water in some areas, especially those low-lying spots that usually flood. And then we've got tornado warnings not far from Fort Smith, just to the south and east of the city, one of which was observed. This one in Franklin and Sebastian County, still an ongoing tornado warning that includes Charleston, Greenwood, and it looks like Lavaca. So that includes Franklin, Sebastian counties, and then the warning south of there. But then you go to Mena, Arkansas, and we're under an extension of that tornado warning that went through Idabel and produced winds at over 100 miles per hour likely in the city. Obviously, we don't know what happened, and we don't know what the city looks like right now, but this tornado has gone now well over 85, nearly 90 miles from when it first originated near Sulphur Springs, and we can track that as it now bypassed Broken Bow just to the east, missed DeQueen to the west, and is approaching Mineral, Arkansas, likely up towards Vandervoot now in Arkansas. Timing this out, Kellam, Mineral, you're literally talking within the next 5 to 10 minutes of this tornado warning overhead. This is a very dangerous tornado and still has extreme winds likely with this.
And again, we were calling out Mineral and other places before they got under the tornado warning. So this is, you can, by following what's going on here on the Weather Channel, you can see what communities are downstream from a warning and preliminarily take action. And don't get in your car to go anywhere. Make sure you know how to get a warning, because these are long-lived supercells, Chris, that have spawned multiple tornado warnings in now 3 different states with this one supercell.
And look at that correlation.
That's not good.
Look at that debris ball. I mean, right there, lofted over U.S. Highway 70, and that's what's moving into Arkansas. So it's still a very dangerous tornado. This was a wedge tornado. Not to say it's still a wedge tornado, but we've seen what it has done in the past, and I would likely continue that threat into Arkansas now, as we've got high rotation there.
And co-located with the velocities. When the correlation coefficient showing non-meteorological debris is in the same place following along with the velocities, you know that is an indication of debris being lofted into the air by a tornado on the ground.
All right, we want to get to Texas now, because there's several dangerous tornado warnings that we're still tracking. The most concerning now is this one that is approaching Interstate 30, Boston right now. Considerable threat tag. This has been an observed tornado pushed through Naples, Texas, and is now crossing I-30, or just about to cross I-30 and move into the community of Boston. I mean, does this one have this one we looked earlier, it did. Look at that debris ball. This is going to cross right over there.
In Boston, you got to take shelter right now.
You need to be in shelter immediately. Immediately.
And this is moving northeast at
run if you're not already in your shelter. Hopefully you're in your shelter and maybe you have a way to watch the TV or listen or follow along online or through somebody on the phone, just to give you a heads up on where the tornado is and when it's safe to clear your safe spot. But right now, if you're in Boston, Texas, take shelter immediately and stay there.
Hello, little one. Welcome to the great unknown. Not the okay unknown or the underwhelming unknown. It's the great unknown for a reason. It's a world of endless possibilities and adventures you can't even imagine. Toyota, let's go places.
First psoriasis, then psoriatic arthritis.
Even walking was tough.
I had to do something. I started Cosentix.
Cosentix can help you move, look, and feel better by treating the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Watch me.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Since being the first to make wipers over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in all kinds of weather. Torrential downpours, gale force winds, wintry blasts, even when it's raining cats and dogs. Hey, who came up with that phrase anyway? Just imagine if it actually started... All right. No matter what the conditions, Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact. For safe, clear driving visibility, pick up a set of Trico wiper blades at your local Advance Auto Parts store.
We're headed to the playground.
Yeah, we're going to the playground.
Have fun.
Just like that.
You think I've never been to the playground?
Shop Best Buy and experience the magic of giving the perfect gift.
My name is Wendy. I'm 51 years old, and I'm a hospital administrator. When I talk to patients, you can just see from here up when you're wearing a mask. And I have noticed those lines beginning to really become not so much moderate, but more severe. I'm still Wendy, and I got Botox Cosmetic. And I'm really happy with the results because they're very subtle, and I feel like I look like myself, but just less lines.
Botox Cosmetic is FDA approved to temporarily make frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better. The effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Do not receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow, eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Tell your doctor about your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
It's Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days. Every Monday, huge deals will go live. Join Walmart Plus and you can shop online 7 hours early. So the only question is it Monday yet? That's Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days.
Where can you get great appliances this holiday? Backed by our price promise every day.
Domino's online carryout deal includes all your favorites for just $7.99 each. So let's play a word association game. Dips and twists,
$7.99.
8-piece wings,
$7.99.
large one-topping pizzas,
$7.99.
The only place to get this deal,
Domino's.
All right, brand new tornado emergency now. This time, this is the cell that's moving into Boston, Texas, or New Boston, Texas. This is crossing I-30, and notice how close this is to Texarkana. Now, Texarkana, you're not under this particular threat. Not to say we won't later on, but right now, this tornado is going to miss you off to your west. However, Boston, Texas is about to get a direct hit from this tornado emergency, likely on the ground, large and destructive tornado. It went through Naples, Texas a little while ago and even had on the radar a donut hole, meaning it was clear. moisture, and you could see that on the radar. Look at the tight rotation here. I mean, this is right near I-30. Imagine the folks who happen to just be traveling this stretch, and I mean, just east of there by even maybe a football field, maybe a half mile away, you're dealing with the tornado, because we're talking about this moving into New Boston near mile markers 198 and 201. So there's exit 201 right there. There's exit 198, and then exit 192 is right about there. So it's right there in that section of I-30 that this is going to approach right over the city center. And look at that debris ball. I mean, we've got strong confidence that there is a large, destructive, and catastrophic Boston and eventually cross over I-30, probably near the New Boston or Boston, Texas exit. Look at that notch too on the radar.
Yeah, and the correlation coefficient really started to expand right after it went through the Naples, Texas area.
Yes.
So it has been creating damage all along that path since it went near Naples, and even before that, but it really ramped up since then. And now, just east of Interstate 30, about to cross Interstate 30 in the Boston area, you have the velocities and the correlation coefficient going together. And that is one of the most clear-cut, significant correlation coefficient dropout signatures that we've seen tonight, because we've seen a lot of them, but this one is really well defined, and you absolutely have to save your life. You've got to be lowest level, most interior room in the Boston area, off the interstate. Don't let anybody that you know of who's going on Interstate 30 in that area to drive. You got to be off the roads in a safe place.
And you think about with a tornado like this, let's say there's an exit right here. That's exit 198, and then you've got exit 201, which is right there. It's not safe to pull off at those exits and await this out. You want to avoid this area altogether, because a gas station is not going to provide you security or safety in this type of situation. If that's all you have and you got to run into the gas station, I mean, do that. At least put walls between you and the outside.
Yeah, but don't try to outrun this. No, you're not going to be able to. And, you know, these have been moving 50 miles an hour plus or minus all day today. They are not to be toyed with in terms of trying to outdrive it or drive around it or anything like that. The thing you have to do is not be on the road and be in a sturdy structure in the lowest level, most interior room as soon as you get a warning tonight, because these are so destructive, so fast moving, you don't have any time to waste.
So timing this out again, New Boston, any minute now, this tornado, large, destructive, confirmed tornado will be moving into town and likely going to change the face of what you know Boston to look like.
And this is going into Arkansas. You know,
yes.
You've got places like Ashdown and Wilton and Foreman, Arkansas, that are in this warning and only have a few minutes to take shelter.
So start thinking ahead. And if you're outside the emergency, I would start thinking ahead too. If we track this a little bit further, again, catastrophic damage, it's already, traveled, tens of miles, probably 20, 30, 40 miles, and is continuing to show no signs of weakening, moving into a very favorable environment. You've got that notch right there. I mean, this will then get up into Ashdown, and then Dalton, if you're able to track it more long range, we can see who else would be in play beyond the actual emergency itself, because these are moving so quickly, things are evolving so quickly, and not to mention we've got the other confirmed tornado just to the north of here now in Arkansas, producing still very dangerous and damaging conditions. Ashdown within 20 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less, and then getting into Nashville, Arkansas by about 45, 50 minutes from now, so within an hour. In Nashville, you're not under any warning right now. However, I would anticipate the potential of a very large and catastrophic tornado moving your direction. The way we have the atmosphere tonight, Dr. Nab, these can travel 100 miles, perhaps.
And I just looked, went through the radar loop, and this cell affecting the Boston area it formed near Tyler, Texas 2 hours ago.
2 hours we've been tracking this tornado-warned storm now on the ground approaching Boston.
Right now.
Confused about the best beauty care products for your skin? Here are some common myths. Myth 1. All you need is hemorrhoid cream for under-eye bags. Actually, hemorrhoid cream can cause irritation and clogged pores, even thinning of the skin around the eyes. Myth 2. Makeup can reduce the appearance of wrinkles. Actually, makeup can dry out the skin and cause creases, which enhance the appearance of wrinkles. Myth 3. The only way to reduce wrinkles and crow's feet is expensive injections or costly procedures. But there are alternatives. Plexiderm makes a clinically proven, safe, and easy-to-use serum that lets you experience enhanced beauty in just 10 minutes, not weeks.
I've had under-eye bags for a very long time. And tons of eye creams, eye gels. Finally, I tried something called Plexiderm, and I'm not joking. It works.
It's amazing. My friends, my family, they can't believe it. There's been creams, there's been lotions, concealers. Nothing works like this. And in just a few minutes, it's amazing. Hi, I'm Tiffany, and this is what Plexiderm did for me.
Get a convenient trial kit this Thanksgiving for the low cost of $14.95 plus free shipping. Plexiderm Rapid Reduction Serum is formulated with our proprietary blend of naturally derived silicate minerals from shale clay that form a safe and effective temporary firming layer on your skin, giving you visible. Is highly effective at reducing the look of wrinkles, crow's feet, under-eye bags, dark circles, and more in just 10 minutes, or your money back. Act now for this special one-time trial kit for only $14.95 with no further commitments. Plus, get free shipping. If after using Plexiderm you're not showing your best face to the world, we'll refund your money. No questions asked. Try Plexiderm for $14.95 this Thanksgiving. Order online at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
First came Google, then came Fitbit. What if the two forces joined together to transform the way we live? Again, Fitbit by Google.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl is back, which means the never-ending pasta you crave is back. Starting it with our never-ending first course, well, that's always been here. Never-ending pasta bowl, starting at $13.99 for a limited time.
Tornado emergency still ongoing here in northeast Texas and southwestern parts of Arkansas. I want to get you straight to the radar. We've got several other confirmed tornadoes that we're tracking now in Arkansas, and then other dangerous tornado warnings that we're tracking south of Texarkana. The real threat now really starting to advance near Texarkana and that northeast part of Texas, and now across western parts of Arkansas. So here's the latest on the tornado emergency. Again, this tornado warned storm. This is an actual tornado on the ground. Large wedge tornado moving right over Interstate 30 near the community of New Boston in Texas. Okay, this is for Bowie and Little River counties, Bowie, Texas, or Bowie County, Texas, and Little River County, Arkansas. If you live in Boston, you hopefully are in your safe place. This tornado is bearing down on you right as we speak. Look at the velocities here. Look at that tight rotation. This is literally crossing over exit 201. All right, that's just to the west of Boston proper. Or no, exit 198. That's exit 198. Here's exit 201. There's a Walmart right there.
That's
so this is just to the west of Walmart. Likely you're going to miss it by maybe a mile away. And the storm is going to cross I-30 and move up towards Highway 41, heading north out of Boston. Look at that
tornadic debris signature. An extremely large tornadic debris signature. That is an indication of damage being done by this tornado on the ground just to the west of Boston and New Boston. And then it's going to cross not only the interstate, but then Highway 8 that goes north-south through that area. So you cannot be driving through this area.
No. I mean, you need to avoid. Look at how it's expanded to the debris now being lofted well outside of Boston, and is now already crossing
watch
over
this tornado cross the interstate system
I-30. Okay, and now is approaching highway. Look how quickly that's moving. I mean, traveling 10 miles in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, these are all moving like 50 miles an hour today, quickly off to the northeast, which is why when you get a warning, you've got to take shelter immediately, including if you are over the border in southwestern Arkansas. Arkansas in this warning, where the weather might not be so bad at this moment, but it is going to change dramatically and in a life-threatening way in just a matter of a few minutes.
So if you live in Wallace, Ashdown, you need to be in your safe place. Run there immediately, guys. This is a very dangerous storm, and it's moving very quickly, this tornado, likely going to approach you within the next 10 to 15 minutes, okay? This is already getting close to the state line of Arkansas, and will be racing up right near Wallace and Ashdown within the next 10, 15 minutes. And look at that, a brand new tornado warning just south of Boston. So some of these areas are going to go down with several tornado warnings. You may have just been hit or maybe have been under a tornado warning. That's not to say you won't be done with your threat of severe weather. That's just kind of how everything's kind of lining up. We head north a little bit. This is to Mena, Arkansas, Montgomery, Pike, and Polk counties. This is an observed tornado. This is the tornado that produced a tornado emergency about 45 minutes ago in southwestern parts of Oklahoma near Idabel. This is now, this same tornado-warned storm is approaching Wicks and likely going to move south of Mena. And look at this. I mean, we're still holding on to velocities. What are these measuring at? I mean, this has been measuring, 80, 90, to nearly 100 plus miles per hour for the better half of 2-3 hours now.
Yeah, so very strong mesoscale cyclones, the parent thunderstorms rotating and producing the tornado that is on the ground. And this one you can track all the way back to Sulphur Springs.
Yes.
And this is a really long-lived, another 3-state tornado, and it has a long history of damage, and you can't count on this going away. So if you are northeast of Mena, heads up. A tornado warning could be issued for you before too much longer, because we've continuing to have to do that, Chris, continue to issue new tornado warnings along the path of this long-lived supercell. And here we go again into southwestern portions of Arkansas with that continuation of that new Boston tornado now moving into Arkansas very shortly.
So they dropped the tornado emergency. I think they do that because it's out of a populated area and it's moving into these areas. So tornado warning is still just as dangerous.
Still a considerable threat, life-threatening tornado situation. Take shelter immediately if you are in Ashdown or Foreman or Wallace in Arkansas. You are now going to get this supercell that went over New Boston, Texas.
All right, let's track these new tornado warnings now south of that one that just hit New Boston, Texas, because if we track these, they are on a trajectory towards Texarkana.
Heads up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Heads up. It's quiet there right now, and you're not under a warning technically, but it won't be long, we think, before you are one. There's 2 areas of rotation right here, one near Hughes Springs. That is where an apparent tornado is. This is radar indicated. That would be pushing up towards Douglasville by 8 o'clock, and then Texarkana in about 45 minutes away.
Yeah, so if you have any ideas of going out and about in Texarkana, now's a really bad time to do that.
Until tomorrow, because that's how quickly things can change.
Yeah, because you don't want to be out somewhere when a tornado hits and then you're out on the road, and with storms moving 50, 55 miles an hour, you aren't going to be able to deal with the tornado very well if you're out on the roads.
This is that same morning. Look at this. Look at this rotation right here. I mean, measuring winds 80, close to 100 miles per hour, obviously much stronger if this isn't a tornado, but you're getting an idea how dangerous some of these cells are. I'm amazed at how clearly defined and how strong these velocity returns are in every single one of these warnings.
Yeah, we have not had the evolution into a squall line yet. We still primarily are dealing with supercells out in the open warm sector that are feeding off of that warm, moist inflow, and discrete supercells continuing.
So high risk for damaging winds over 80 miles per hour and dangerous tornadoes as we watch Arkansas and Louisiana now join in on the threat. We'll be back.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it takes stunning photos in the dark and helps take annoying items out of pictures or unblurs faces. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones.
Among my patients, I often see them have teeth sensitivity as well as gum issues. Does it worry me? Absolutely. Sensodyne sensitivity and gum gives us a dual action effect that really takes care of both our teeth sensitivity as well as our gum issues. There's no question it's something that I would recommend.
Some people like to talk into microphones. We prefer dropping them. The MDX Type S, a new era of premium performance.
To everyone this holiday season, give love. Give style. Find joy for everyone on your list with Macy's Gift Finder.
This is Antonelli's Cheese Shop, and we're the Antonellis.
We chose our Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One because we earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase.
And with no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to our business needs. What's in your wallet?
My operator said, hey, one of our regular customers had a heart transplant recently. Would you be okay with me introducing you to them? I was like, absolutely, man.
That's when I got to meet Brian. We've both had a heart transplant and love Chick-fil-A. Brian represents older me because of what he's been through.
I was so happy to be able to be that person in Shay's life.
It's nice knowing someone in the community able to talk to you like that.
I'm glad that I'm in this journey, in this story right now with Shay.
Hi, William Shatner here. It's the Medicare annual enrollment period, and this year, it's simple. 1, before the deadline, call the number below. 2, check your zip code for a Medicare Advantage plan with prescriptions, dental care, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month. 3, you'll find out what you're eligible for. AEP has a deadline. Call now.
I called to find a plan that covers more of my dental expenses.
I call every year to make sure my doctor is still in my plan.
I called to find a plan with lower copays.
I called to see if my zip code has a plan with the benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I call every year to make sure my plan's copays didn't go up.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. You should too. AEP has a deadline, so don't delay. Call now.
Call 1-800-975-4570. That's 1-800-975-4570 now.
Welcome home.
I wasn't expecting this.
My brother Paul created an organization that assists communities after natural disasters. Now my wife and I run the global response team.
Come on in.
This is so amazing. Thank you all so much for coming in and doing this for us.
Fast Home Rescue, tomorrow night, 8/7 Central, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 61 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 58, winds light and variable. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 76. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly to mostly cloudy, low 61. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tornado warnings continue to fire up here across East Texas, western Arkansas, and it's not going to be long before Louisiana, at least northwest Louisiana, starts to get in on some warnings as well. Notice all of these are becoming supercells out ahead of our front, which is still back here. Overnight, we're going to start to transition to more of a squall line, which still may have some tornadoes, but becoming more of a damaging wind threat. We haven't hit that point yet, and that is why the most destructive ones are literally happening as we speak. One that just pushed through New Boston, Texas, and this one is very concerning. Considerable threat tag is now in Arkansas, likely going to pass by Ashdown just to the west by a few miles. This is for Little River County here in far southwestern Arkansas. Look at that velocity right over. What highway is that? Can we zoom in a little bit more? right over highway. I think we said that was 41. Okay, so State Route 41 in Arkansas, and then State Route 8 north of New Boston in Texas. That is where this is, just south of Foreman. So please take shelter immediately. Look at the debris signature here. What you're looking at is debris that was lifted up by this tornado as it passed south of Boston, getting through the west side of New Boston, and is now crossing into Arkansas. A little bit more rural area, not as many structures, so probably not seeing as much debris at the moment, but still very strong returns on velocity. And then we head to the storm south of here. Right now, nothing's been confirmed. However, Dr. Knapp just showed me the debris signature starting to pick up on this tornado right here. And notice where this is headed. If we draw a line out, we can extend it, and that brings then Texarkana into the mix within 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. And right now, Texarkana, you're not even under a tornado warning. So you may not even be aware that there's a tornado ahead of your way.
But
so
look at that signature with the debris now starting to be picked up in the same place where the rotation is. So, heads up in Texarkana. In 40 minutes, you could be dealing with a tornado. You don't want to be going somewhere right now on the roads, and you want to have a way to get your warnings. These have been long-lived, fast-moving supercells.
Yeah, they've traveled lots of miles. So let's show you some new video. This is stunning to see. This was before dark. Look at the tornado here.
Wow, look at all the debris.
Sulphur Springs, Texas. Look at that. I mean, look at the debris. Look at how violent this is. Now, this is the one that has produced some catastrophic damage, not just there in Sulphur Springs. This is the same warning we're still tracking now, 2+ hours later after it pushed through Sulphur Springs.
And Chris, I want to highlight how much debris is up in the air. That's the kind of stuff that you see on the radar. In bulk, the radar picks up that debris. But also, you don't see much of a condensation funnel. You see a lot of dust and dirt being picked up. But you do see little vortices rotating around the tornado. So there's a lot of detail going on in here. And even in the foreground, you can see the winds moving around. So the effects of the tornado are far more than just what you would think of the quintessential condensation funnel.
And this was when it first began. This was when it kind of originated.
This is small.
This got a lot larger. We saw some ground truth of that when it was approaching the Oklahoma state line north of Clarksville.
Look at how high up in the air that debris gets suspended for long periods of time. So you hear these stories about something damaged here being found way over here or maybe miles away. This is how that happens. And you get so much debris being picked up. And there aren't that many structures in the path at this particular time. You can imagine if this was hitting a neighborhood, how much damage this would cause and how much debris would be tossed into the air. And one place that we've seen a lot of damage is in the Sulphur Springs area, Hopkins County area, where our Charles Peak is.
Yeah, so we're going to talk to Charles really quickly. You can see the damage there. If we pull up the max, we actually wanted to track that tornado that we saw. And Charles, I know you're listening on the phone. We want to ask you some questions, but we want to show folks how far that tornado has traveled, because it started there as a supercell south of I-30, and then we put this in play. That was about 4:50 in the afternoon. And then look at it now crossing into Oklahoma. There it is now, and Arkansas, and now there's the tornado warning for that cell. That's 3 hours later, now in Montgomery, Pike, and Polk counties in Arkansas.
And it's not the only one. We've had multiple supercells last more than 2 hours. So, Charles, give us an update on what you are seeing in terms of the damage and the impacts there.
Yeah, Dr. Knapp, I'm still at this one location. We just got the drone footage in, and just another home. I was just talking to a law enforcement official, said it was a pier and beam home that is about a quarter mile, if I understand right, from here, that was pretty well picked up.
We were looking at that too.
And he said basically it was flat.
Sounds good,
it's in a very rural area. He said it's real difficult to be able to get to. But those are the conditions with the storm going through here.
All right, Charles, we'll continue to check back in with some of the damage that you have seen. We've got some brand new video, this time out of Emory, Texas, and look at this tornado. Violent, small twister with multiple vortices, and again, less of a condensation funnel and more of dust and debris.
A lot of debris going way up into the air. I guess this is kind of what happens when it doesn't hit so many structures, but hits a lot of trees and the ground. But you can imagine what this would do to structures.
And look at the cars right there, narrowly.
Look at those individual vortices wrapping around.
Look at that. Oh, wow. Violent afternoon, and severe weather coverage continues next on the Weather Channel.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it takes stunning photos in the dark and helps take annoying items out of pictures or unblurs faces. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones.
There's still one place you go where emotions reign free. A place where the ultimate luxury is the luxury of just being yourself. Thoughtfully designed to put you and your passengers at ease. There's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel infinitely you.
Flashing lights, they really get your attention. See them, and you know to go slow. Now we put that same technology in the palm of your hand with Lizard Flare. It's the high-tech safety flare with no flame.
Attention! This may be your last chance to get Lizard Flare before they're gone. Details coming up.
Lizard Flare uses 15 high-intensity LED strobes that can be seen nearly a mile away, and a powerful magnet that sticks to your car so you can warn people without exiting the view. And they have 360 degrees of visibility. Rain, snow, even fog. Lizard Flare won't let you down. Look, flares are dangerous, but Lizard Flare stays cool to the touch and can last a lifetime without burning out. They're built tough with shatterproof ABS lenses and rubber bumpers that take a beating. That's a 30-ton fire truck, a dead battery, and empty gas tank. With Lizard Flare, help is on the way. Lizard Flare Pro has an ultra-bright flashlight too, and this handy hook to hang it up for a jump start or stand it up to fix a flat. Perfect for your truck or RV. Listen, roadside accidents are the leading cause of death for people under 55 in the United States. Make sure everyone in your family has Lizard Flare.
Get your Lizard Flare for only $9.99 only through this special offer. But wait, there's breaking news. Lizard Flare may be discontinued. Due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, Lizard Flare is stopping manufacturing effective immediately. There is a strict limit of 2 vehicle packs per order while supplies last. But once the current inventory is gone, it's gone forever. Order now.
This may be your last chance, so call 1-800-824-1258. That's 1-800-824-1258. Or visit lizardflare.com. So call 1-800-824-1258. Or visit lizardflare.com now.
Snoring keeping you awake? The Sleep Number 360 smart bed lets you gently raise your partner's head. And it senses your movements and automatically adjusts. Don't miss our weekend special. Save 40% on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed. Ends Monday.
Welcome into our ongoing coverage of a very dangerous night across the Mid-South and parts of the Plains as well. We have already seen significant tornadoes and very serious damage. I'm Storm Specialist Carl Parker alongside Chris Warren. We're going to have more on what's going on with the damage in just a moment, but let's get right into the warnings now and show you where the worst of this weather is. You see this line of storms, many tornado warnings indicated by those red boxes now from East Texas up through western parts of Arkansas. Let's get right into these warnings from south to north here. First of all, in Texas, Cherokee, Natchitoches, and Rusk counties under warning. Also to the north of that, Cherokee and Rush also under warning. And then another one extending up into Cherokee and Rusk here going until 8:15. So there are 2 distinct circulations in this case, one right there and one right there. These are moving northeast at about 45 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour. So heads up in Atoy and and Reclaw, as well as Laneville, and then that other area that's going to be northwest of Laneville, that moving towards McKnight, Henderson, and coming into New Prospect as well. Possible tornado coming your way. Then up into northeast Texas, Bowie and Cass counties observed a tornado here, and this, by the way, is southwest of Texarkana. Not getting a real clear picture in the velocity data, but basically we're watching that area right there, and that is now probably about 40 minutes away from Texarkana, so heads up there. That is generally coming your way, moving towards Douglasville more immediately, coming into Maud as well, and then also moving into Redwater. Then farther north, another couple of tornado warnings here, one of those for Howard and Little River in Sevier counties. So we are now getting up into parts of southwestern Arkansas, and looking at the velocity data in this case, very strong signature now west of 59, and that again moving rapidly to the northeast. So that's going to be coming towards Locksburg, but Aileen more immediately about 8:02 right now, and then Locksburg around 8:21 or so. Then up into northwest Arkansas, a couple of tornado warnings here. Howard County under warning, and then another warning off to the north of that. That warning in effect for Montgomery and Polk and Scott counties. Observed tornado here. We're looking at a large but strong circulation that is south of Mena, and that also moving off to the northeast right now, coming into Shady right now, into Board Camp at 8:10, Yocana at 8:15, Huddleston beyond that. Then up into northern Arkansas, Johnson and Logan counties under warning. Observed tornado here, looking at a circulation sitting now northwest of Spadra and moving towards the northeast. That coming towards Edna and Ferris Springs. And then one more tornado warning here for Carroll County. Also a small warning in Boone County as well. And looking at the velocity data in this case, we've got here an area of circulation that is coming towards Branson right now. Not showing up real well, but we're a pretty good long ways from the radar. So that is generally going to be moving up and towards that 65 corridor in the next few minutes here. So heads up for a possible tornado there. Now let's take a look at some of the tornado reports that we have seen already. It has been a really active afternoon here. House destroyed there, southeastern parts of Oklahoma, Detroit. Tree snapped in half, power poles down, significant damage in Dangerfield. I mean, we've gotten incredible video, which we'll show you here in just a moment. And all of this courtesy of a really vigorous upper level storm that is now moving across parts of the southern plains. We've got plenty of instability indicated by that yellow and orange and red shading feeding up and into the system. And importantly here, really strong wind shear also, where winds are coming out of the southeast and even southeast at the surface, and then coming out of the south and southwest at about 5,000 feet up and very rapidly. Those are winds in blue of about 40 miles per hour. We're going to see that shift over the next several hours, and so that corridor, that area of greatest low-level wind shear is going to move across parts of Arkansas and across northern Louisiana as well, and that is why there are tornado watches in effect in those areas. Many of these watches going until midnight tonight, but that threat may continue for quite some time. It may extend well into the overnight hours as well. So a lot going on here. We're going to be with you through the night following this severe weather. I want to bring in meteorologist Chris Warren right now. And Chris, we've seen some incredible video of some of these tornadoes already today.
And Carl, we're going to get to that video here in just a moment, but I want to get you caught up to where Carl just left off, the threat going through tonight. Carl's just showing us the tornado watches where conditions are still favorable for the development of tornadoes, but also a bigger area where more dangerous weather is possible. Damaging winds, hail still on the table here, still a possibility. And this is going through the overnight hours. So we see scenes like this. Damage has already been done. It is. And now going into the overnight hours when people are likely trying to get to sleep. And unfortunately, you gotta pay attention, have a way to be woken up in case these storms turn severe, because in many areas, and likely while Carl and I are with you here, it is not just likely over a huge area, but it is very likely there is going to be some more very dangerous weather across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. But the threat for severe weather extends even up into southern Missouri to Mississippi, a lot of Louisiana, even parts of Tennessee, including Memphis. This is the Torcon, so even though you have a 2 on here, it's not a 7, but it is still a tornado threat. The bigger the number, the bigger the threat. You get above 5, you're really getting into that, closer to that max threat zone here. It's very rare for us to have 8, 9, or 10, so a 7 is very high. And already what we've seen today with the damage with the tornadoes, you got to take this very seriously. Sometimes it just takes a while for the atmosphere to wind down. It's still chugging along pretty strong here, unfortunately. Here's the forecast by midnight. Central time here, the storms should be through Shreveport and Bossier City, but here in central Louisiana, Alexandria, some storms rumbling through you, and some of the storms out ahead of the main line could be rotating, could be packing a big punch, could have a tornado, and then beyond that, another punch here. So a 1-2 punch for many areas across the south here, across Louisiana. And notice even at 3 o'clock in the morning, overnight tonight, as this storm is, this whole line of storms is moving across the Mississippi here, there is still signs that this is going to be very strong. Some strong winds, very heavy rain, frequent lightning. Still can't rule out the possibility that there could be some rotation, could be some tornadoes still. Here's a look at Little Rock, a quick look at some of the storms and the timing. Again, likely before midnight, some of the stronger storms are going to come through. Showing you the forecast right now, and want to show you some video as well, because you think about the forecast, what could be coming your way, the possibility still of tornadoes. Sulphur Springs, Texas, from a little bit earlier. You can see while it was light out here, tornado in progress. You see the debris field, how wide the debris, how far away from the actual tornado that debris is being kicked up and thrown around. And if this was at night, you might not even know it was there. I mean, it doesn't even sound that loud here, as close as this camera does appear to that tornado right there. And then after that tornado is this. You can see barely make out the taillights of a truck and a car here next to what appears to be a residence. Tree down, debris up in the trees as well. So as we look at this, Carl, we see that tornadoes have been happening, a history of tornadoes today, and unfortunately also a history of damage. Does anything stand out to you, or anything that comes to mind as you're looking at this video today and looking at some of the damage afterward?
Well, you know, I think this is probably one of the worst severe days that we've seen in a very, very long time. You know, it's going to be a long night. There's a lot of wind in the atmosphere in general. You look at the tornado there and you see that rapid motion. Look at that debris being tossed around there. Just a violent tornado coming through Sulphur Springs, and we did hear about significant damage as a result of that. So it is going to be most likely a long night here in parts of Texas and Louisiana, as well as into Arkansas. Let's once again go through some of these warnings and show you where some of the worst of it is now. First of all, I want to show you some live pictures from Charles Peak. This is Sulphur Springs, and you see some of the damage there. Not at all surprising given the ferocity of the tornado that we were just looking at moments ago. That was the tornado that caused this damage. So we've got an ongoing threat here and multiple tornado warnings. Let's get right into some of these warnings for you now. First of all, into East Texas, looking at a tornado warning for Cherokee and Natchitoches and also Rusk counties. That is going until 8:15 here. There are actually two separate circulations. There's one right there that is now southwest of Laneville, and that is moving towards Laneville. I'm going to go back a couple of frames here. Looks like that's pretty solidly to the northeast. So that's going to be coming up in that area, moving into Anadarko just a few minutes from now. Laneville at about 8:19 or so. There's another circulation to the northeast of that, not quite as well formed, but you see where that is relative to Henderson. So heads up there in Henderson, could be a tornado coming your way here in the next few minutes. Then up into northeast Texas, Bowie and Cass counties, or Bowie and Cass counties, going until 8:30. Observed tornado here, looking at a large circulation right in there, and that is generally now southwest of Texarkana. Now, I do want to take a look at the debris signatures here. We did see something showing up in that moments ago, right in there, indicating there may have been a touchdown right in there, and you see where this is relative to Texarkana. Texarkana. So heads up there in Texarkana. This is not that far away. Maybe that it passes just to the northwest of you, but it's going to be really, really close. In fact, I'm going to actually move that just a little bit. So it's going to be very close there as it comes up and towards Texarkana. If you're in the west or northwest side of Texarkana in particular, I'd be certainly concerned about this storm. Keep a close eye on that. We've got a new tornado warning now in effect into western Arkansas, and that is for Howard and Little River and Sevier counties. So we're looking at a circulation that is now near 59, right about in there. Actually seeing a little bit of aliasing here, so it's difficult to get a good sense of that sometimes at first glance. But that is now just west of 59 and moving northeast. So that coming towards Ben Lomond at about 8:16, Locksburg at about 8:23 or so. Then farther north, Montgomery, Polk, and Scott counties got a warning until 8:45. Observed tornadoes, so large circulation that is now south of 71 and moving northeast. That's going to come into Yocana and Pine Ridge and into Harvey. Then another tornado warning for Johnson and Logan counties. We are now into northwestern Arkansas. Not seeing as much evidence of a real tight circulation, sort of up into Carroll County, and that circulation has now made its way outside of that tornado warning polygon and now is up into the Branson area, but there is not now a tornado warning in the Branson area. So, you know, Chris, it's just one of those days when you've got so much wind at several levels of the atmosphere that you're going to see a lot of rotation in these storms, and as mentioned, this is probably going to go for some time tonight.
And Carl, coming up a little bit later, I want to talk to you about what you're looking at as far as the ingredients, what you're going to be looking forward to through time, of what will be some good signals that may say this is winding down. But right now, we're far from winding down right now. And with that, still getting our first look at some damage from various locations, including where Storm Tracker Charles Peak is right now. We go live to Charles's scene. He joins us now on the phone as he's providing these images to us here near Sulphur Springs in Hopkins County. Charles, what are you looking at, do you think, and what have you seen? Can you kind of take us through the environment, what's beyond your light?
Yeah, Chris, probably about a half a mile to the southwest from here was a well-built brick home that I was on a little earlier that had about half of the home destroyed. The couple that was there actually was in a vehicle. They were trapped in it with trees falling on it. First responders were able to get them out, but they were uninjured. And then here about like I said, about a half a mile as a crow flies to the northeast, the tornado continued on and hit this home, which local law enforcement tell me is a pier and beam type home. Parts of it are standing, but literally probably 200 yards around, the rest of the home is just in pieces. It is spread out completely. I'll try to turn the camera just a little to be able to show you as it is just all over the place here, but this is going to be a wooden structure. It does look like it was still a well-built structure, but it was not a brick structure, and it sustained substantial damage. And again, talking to local law enforcement, they've informed me that they have no injuries from this, and they're having to provide shelter for one person, but everybody else was able to stay with family members and such.
Charles, you mentioned you spoke with law enforcement. Were you able to speak with anybody else, any residents or people in the community?
I did talk to the homeowner of the other home when I was there. The gentleman, his wife was not there, but he was, and he said they got the warnings. He said he had 2 of them on his phone, but they just didn't. They get warnings all the time, he said, and just didn't think it would happen. And so they literally got into their vehicle and were going to go to dinner. And the tornado hit trees. He said it literally picked up the back of the pickup, moved it. Trees fell on them, but they were okay.
All right, Storm Tracker Charles Peak, we'll be checking back in with you throughout this evening. And a reminder, especially when you look at this, take warnings very seriously tonight in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, southern Missouri, even still for parts of Oklahoma. This severe weather threat is ongoing, a dangerous situation we are watching right now with multiple tornado warnings across 3 states.
Shop Black Friday deals right now at Best Buy.
Confused about the best beauty care products for your skin? Here are some common myths. Myth 1. All you need is hemorrhoid cream for under-eye bags. Actually, hemorrhoid cream can cause irritation and clogged pores, even thinning of the skin around the eyes. Myth 2. Makeup can reduce the appearance of wrinkles. Actually, makeup can dry out the skin and cause creases, which enhance the appearance of wrinkles. Myth 3. The only way to reduce wrinkles and crow's feet is expensive injections or costly procedures. But there are alternatives. Plexiderm makes a clinically proven, safe, and easy-to-use serum that lets you experience enhanced beauty in just 10 minutes, not weeks.
I've had under-eye bags for a very long time, and it sucks. I have spent so much money on tons of eye creams, eye gels. Finally, I tried something called Plexiderm, and I'm not joking. It works.
It's amazing. My friends, my family, they can't believe it. There's been creams, there's been lotions, concealers. Nothing works like this. And in just a few minutes, it's amazing. Hi, I'm Tiffany, and this is what Plexiderm did for me.
Get a convenient trial kit this Thanksgiving for the low cost of $14.95 plus free shipping. Plexiderm Rapid Reduction Serum is formulated with our proprietary blend of naturally derived silicate minerals from shale clay that form a safe and effective temporary firming layer on your skin, giving you visible, youthful results in minutes, which last for hours. Plexiderm is highly effective at reducing the look of wrinkles, crow's feet, under-eye bags, dark circles, and more in just 10 minutes, or your money back. Act now for this special one-time trial kit for only $14.95 with no further commitments. Plus, get free shipping. If after using Plexiderm you're not showing your best face to the world, we'll refund your money. No questions asked. Try Plexiderm for $14.95 this Thanksgiving. Order online at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business, he relied on freshness, quality, variety, and service. We still deliver the freshest nuts, dried fruits, snacks, and sweets to families all around the country. Nuts.com. Enjoy free shipping on your first order.
Some people like to talk into microphones. We prefer dropping them. MDX Type S, a new era of premium performance.
I'm Mike Corey.
It's a cocktail of excitement and terror.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
Hi, William Shatner here. It's the Medicare annual enrollment period, and this year it's simple. 1, before the deadline, call the number below. 2, check your zip code for a Medicare Advantage plan with prescriptions, dental care, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month. 3, you'll find out what you're eligible for. AEP has a deadline. Call now.
I called to find a plan that covers more of my dental expenses.
I call every year to make sure my doctor is still in my plan.
I called to find a plan with lower copays.
I called to see if my zip code has a plan with the benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I call every year to make sure my plan's copays didn't go up.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. You should too. AEP has a deadline, so don't delay. Call now.
Call 1-800-975-4570. That's 1-800-975-4570.
Currently in our area, 61 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 58. Winds light and variable. .76. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy early with increasing clouds overnight. Low 61. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The power of the Weather Channel, now available to everyone.
This is epic!
Trusted live coverage when it matters most is now yours to stream with the Weather Channel TV app, real-time radar, and maps that let you track all the action.
Let's get into the detail.
Personalization, customization, hundreds of hours of your favorite shows, and so much more. There's never been a better way for everyone to watch the Weather Channel. Available now on these platforms. Go to streamtwc.com to start your free 7-day trial.
Right now, this is a live look at Clarksville, Arkansas, where the lightning you're seeing right now associated with a storm that has a tornado warning associated with it, an observed tornado. That's the tag from the National Weather Service here for parts of Johnson and Logan counties. Also in this is Coal Hill and Clarksville. Those you can see here right along, this is looking right along Interstate 40. The heavy rain that's coming down, the flashes of lightning every once in a while. We're seeing with these strong storms across 3 states right now. Missouri, here also in Arkansas and into Texas, about a half dozen tornado warnings. And this is one of those storms. Again, multiple tornadoes right now, multiple tornado warnings we're tracking right now. This one does have the observed tag with it. We have seen plenty of damage. We've seen video of tornadoes. Take all of the warnings very seriously tonight. You should always take them seriously. But Carl, when we heard from Charles Peak a little while ago, and he spoke to some people that had warnings, but they decided to go to dinner anyway. So they said they had warnings in the past. This isn't like the past.
No, it's not. It's one of those nights when we have really serious, significant, long many current tornado warnings extending from eastern Texas all the way up into western Arkansas and now into Missouri as well. So let's get right into some of these warnings for you now. We've got a warning in effect for Panola and Rusk counties that is going until 9 p.m. Circulation showing up near Laneville right now and moving off to the northeast. Another little circulation also near Henderson as well. That's going to be coming towards Pine Hill and towards Durgin. Then farther north up into the Arklatex there, Bowie, Cass, and Miller counties, including Texarkana, under warning right now. Now, as I'm looking at this velocity data, certainly I see a surge of wind right there. Some hints of a little more rotation right in there, perhaps, and then also to the north of that. But it's just that at this time. I would not say that that's a well-defined area of circulation. So let's just track that whole area out and see where that's going to be headed. And that is going to be getting into Texarkana at about 8:32. But again, at least right now, it is not a real well-defined area of circulation. That could change at any moment. And I want to show you a live look at Texarkana right now. And we've got a lot of lightning now moving in. There you see it right there. Very heavy rain here as well. Multiple hazards from this storm as it comes in. We're going to be looking at some large hail here. Golf ball size hail is also going to be a threat as that comes into Texarkana, and that core not very far away at all. And there is also that tornado threat. Again, I think at least for now, it's not as well defined as it was. So we can take some solace in that, but that could change at any moment. So certainly just keep that in mind, and we'll continue to watch the radar, the velocity signature very closely here. Then farther north, Howard, Little River, Sevier counties under warning until 9 p.m. Losing a little of that circulation in what's called the range folding there, but that is now moving towards the northeast, coming up towards areas northwest of Nashville, moving towards Bethany and Reed, and also Granfield. Then another tornado warning in Montgomery and Polk and Scott counties going until 8:45. Now in this case, we've got a very broad but very strong area of circulation, and that is about ready to cross Route 270 as it moves to the northeast. So that'll be coming towards Gravelly, heads up in that area. Then farther north, another tornado warning for Johnson and Logan counties. Now, in this case, I'm not seeing, there's a little evidence of a curlicue right there, but not as well defined as it once was before. And then here in Taney County, southwestern parts of Missouri, a tornado warning here. Here too, you've got a big surge of wind and, you know, a little S curve there. Maybe some hints of rotation in that area, but it's not real well defined, at least not at this time, but certainly something that we want to keep a really close eye on. So we have had, again, significant tornadoes across northeast Texas this evening, Chris. It has been a really rough day, and we've got a long way to go with this weather.
Yeah, with so many tornado warnings that are active right now, Carl, that we're watching, don't really see any immediate signs right now that there's going to be a let-up of this anytime soon. Are you seeing anything that's giving you hope at all?
No, I mean, you know, the thing is that we do expect some of these storms to begin to outrun the instability a little bit, which I can take a look at here on the what's called the CAPE, or convective available potential energy. So some of these storms on the north end are getting away from that. So we don't expect that those storms are going to be as strong, but you certainly got plenty of instability farther south. I mean, there's more than enough there to keep those storms going for some time. And then, you know, on top of that, we're also looking at this wind shear, which is really significant across the region. So what you're looking at here is winds that are coming out of the southeast at the surface, but coming out of the south, and that's winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour at about a mile up. So that creates a rolling motion, having that difference of wind speed and wind direction from the surface up to about 5,000 feet. We're going to talk more about this ongoing threat here coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
Ubrelvy helps you fight migraine attacks. You put it all on the line. You do it all. So you bring Ubrelvy. It can quickly stop migraine in its tracks within 2 hours without worrying if it's too late or where you are.
Unlike older medicines, Ubrelvy is a pill that directly blocks a protein believed to be a cause of migraine. Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Most common side effects were nausea and tiredness.
Migraine pain relief starts with you. Learn how AbbVie can help you save. Ask about Ubrelvy, the anytime, anywhere migraine medicine.
First psoriasis, then psoriatic arthritis.
Even walking was tough.
I had to do something. I started Cosentix.
Cosentix can help you move, look, and feel better by treating the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Watch me.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. Then we took a hard left in East Africa. A right at Baja. A 180 in the empty quarter. And that 65-degree incline at Hell's Revenge. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
First came Google, then came Fitbit. What if the two forces joined together to transform the way we live? Again, Fitbit by Google.
I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of the sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want.
Limited edition fragrance, only by Glade. SC Johnson.
Jeez.
Ironic. Edelman's struggling with reception.
Two things I hate dropping: balls and calls.
Well, you need a better network. And Verizon's new Welcome Unlimited plan for just $30 a line.
Verizon for $30?
Yeah, it's their best unlimited price ever.
I'm switching now.
And getting the network you want for $30?
Touchdown!
Oh! Touchdown!
Everyone can get Verizon for just $30 a line. And now's the time to switch, because you'll get up to $960, only on the network America relies on, Verizon.
It's easy to think that all money managers are pretty much the same. But at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You sell high commission investment products, right?
Nope, Fisher avoids them.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Never at Fisher Investments.
Okay, then you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we structure our fees so we do better when clients do better. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Changing microscopic batteries. Now this is Ergo, and they're rechargeable. Can it get any easier? That's the Ergo difference.
Here's Liz, whose bladder leaks drop in uninvited. Thin, so she can bounce on with clean, dry, fresh protection from Poise.
Severe Storm Central, you're watching the Weather Channel. We are watching multiple tornado warnings right now in Texas, Arkansas, and Missouri. This right here, a live look at one of the tornado-warned areas, Texarkana, Arkansas, where it is warm, 77 degrees, and it is absolutely pouring, and you are under a tornado warning right now. Again, this is a live look here in Texarkana. Now let's take a look at a live view on the road also in Texarkana. So the view from a DOT camera, now a view on the road, and what is blinding rain, a testament to just how strong some of these storms are. Packing a whole bunch of moisture. Unfortunately, also the potential for tornadoes right now. Brett Adair, one of the storm trackers, out watching and covering these storms and helping to provide us with the knowledge of what we're seeing on the radar is happening in truth on the ground. And unfortunately on the ground, also still getting new pictures, new video into the Weather Channel of some of the damage we've seen. This near Sulphur Springs, Texas. This coming to us from Charles Peak, who has seen a lot of damage already today. Tornado warnings have been ongoing now for hours. No real sign that they're going to let up anytime soon. So we look at this. If you're in the path of this line of storms in Missouri and Arkansas and East Texas and Louisiana, this is what is still a possibility going into the evening hours. As tired as you might be and as much as you want to try to get some solid sack time tonight, you got to make sure you have a way to get those alerts and be ready to move. Put your plan into action if you do get that warning. So with that, a lot of warnings to get to, and Storm Specialist Carl Parker has been analyzing a lot of these storms. And Carl, this is still going strong. Several tornado warnings. You get to this time of the night, you know, little ways after sunset, and you start to look for signs that hopefully things are going to slow down. Just don't see it.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, you begin to lose a little of the instability, but the low-level winds start to increase, and so you lose, some of one parameter and you gain a little of another parameter. And so, yeah, we are still seeing very strong rotation here across parts of Texas as well as western Arkansas. Let's get right into the warnings. Got a warning in effect here that is south of Interstate 20, Panola and Rusk counties under warning until 9 p.m. So we're watching that little southwest edge of the storm as it moves northeast about 40 miles per hour. That's going to be coming towards Pine Hill and also towards Beckville as well. Possible tornado coming your way in those areas. Another tornado warning here in effect for Bowie, Cass, and Miller counties going until 9 p.m. So this is Texarkana. So you see right in there, you see that interface right there. So there's certainly some very strong wind. What I'm looking for along the leading edge of that is a more concentrated area of spin. I'm not really seeing that at this time. And so, I think at least for right now, it tighten up at any moment here, so we certainly could be looking at a tornado. And also a large hail threat could be golf ball size hail, and you see that core as it's moving towards the southwest part of town right now, or across the southwest part of town right now. Then farther north, Howard and Sevier counties under warning until 9 p.m. Downstream warning as well on this storm for Pike County. In this case, we're looking at circulation that is showing up near Nashville, so right in there. and sort of discombobulated at this time, sort of a broad circulation, and that is going to be coming towards Reed as well as Granville, and also coming into Daisy. So possible tornado moving your way in those areas. Then as we go farther north, looking at another tornado warning here that has just been clipped, and that is for Montgomery, Scott, and Yell counties until 8:45. Now here, you've got a very broad area of spin. It's a little clearer than it is in a lot of other cases. It's a broad area, but it's a very strong, broad area. And so, that's worrisome because, if that begins to tighten up, we could be looking at a significant tornado here. But you're absolutely looking at a very strong area that is broad, that is rotating. And let's see where that's going to be headed in the next few minutes here. That coming up into the Little Texas area, coming towards Gravely as well. Also look and see if there's any evidence of debris. Not seeing any evidence of debris, at least right now. Farther north, also a tiny little tornado warning in southern parts of Missouri for Taney County. Seeing some, sort of shear right in there, but nothing that is really well defined at this time. But really significant parent storm now coming across the southern part of the plains. That is what is driving this threat, and there is more than enough warm and humid air indicated by the yellow and orange and red colors there to feed these storms. So we expect that they're going to continue to go for quite some time in parts of Arkansas as well as northeast Texas and Louisiana. We'll have much more on all this coming up in a few minutes.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it takes stunning photos in the dark and helps take annoying items out of pictures or unblurs faces. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones.
During Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days, every Monday is a huge deal. Get a $79 HP Chromebook, plus other hot deals. Join Walmart Plus and you can shop online 7 hours early. Head to Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days.
Curiosity pushes you forward. It's what inspired Meiomi to create an unrivaled wine using the best from California to push flavor in new directions for a taste like no other. Meiomi, flavor forward.
In the world of Ninja, kitchen tools never take a day off. Because neither do you. Surfaces won't stick, chip, or flake thanks to Never Stick technology. Knives stay razor sharp for over 10 years with the Never Dull sharpener. In the world of Ninja, a kitchen that never stops deserves cookware that never compromises. Meal after meal, use after use, time after time after time.
Too cold. Introducing the new Sleep Number Climate 360 Smart Bed. The only smart bed in the world that actively cools, warms, and effortlessly responds to both of you. Our smart sleepers get 28 minutes more restful sleep per night. Proven quality sleep, only from Sleep Number.
A Kohler home generator never misses a beat. It automatically powers your entire home in seconds and keeps your family connected. With a heavy-duty commercial-grade engine and no refueling, even when the power goes out, life rocks on. Right now, get a free 10-year extended warranty and up to $750 off.
Thanks.
Jake from State Farm, I really need to know.
Go spicy or go home, right?
What? No. What if I'm not sure I have the right coverage for my car?
Oh, your agent can help me make sure it's just what you need.
What if I accidentally hit a food truck and it gets covered in empanadas?
You can file a claim on the app. At State Farm, we're there for your what-ifs.
Thanks.
Oh.
That is too spicy. That's for you.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Make this worth your while, Peloton. All the classes and endless motivation to keep you coming back. That's why 91% of households that join Peloton are still active 12 months later. Motivation that moves you. Rent the Peloton Bike or Bike Plus. Terms apply.
Right now, this is a look at Texarkana, right along Interstate 30. Very heavy rain, very low visibility. There is was a tornado warning on this storm. Looking at the map, no longer the case. So there is, Carl?
No, that just went out, actually.
Yeah,
just went out. Yeah.
So it is. That has been allowed to expire, but these things are spinning up. They're lasting for a long time. This is some very heavy rain, still some dangerous weather. Also, on the Texas side of Texarkana, Brett Adair, he is on Interstate 369 driving, and it looks like we're maybe refreshing here a little bit with the signal. I believe that's what's going on here. Regardless, we do have a lot of cameras we're keeping an eye on here on the Weather Channel, keeping up with the tornado warnings. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. 1 in Missouri, a couple in Arkansas, 1 in Texas. As right now, the heavy rain is the factor. Look at that. You can see a wake behind that big rig that just went by, or that's the wind. Hard to say. Regardless, it's not good to be out right now. Dangerous times with damaging winds possible, large hail possible. And, of course, the big threat that we have seen, unfortunately, realized, Carl, is that tornado threat. Sometimes when you look at the threats for, the next day, you may see there's a tornado threat, and then it's the day of where you really see the ingredients coming together, and that's kind of what happened today. And unfortunately, it's all kind of coming into line for a pretty bad night.
Yeah, we're in the middle of this second severe season when we have this, clash of seasons going on with colder air coming in, and that adds more energy, more wind to the atmosphere. That's a big part of what drives a severe weather threat when you've got a vigorous parent storm and a lot of wind as a result of temperature contrasts in the atmosphere. So several tornado warnings to tell you about right now. First of all, we've got one in East Texas. That's Panola and Rusk counties under warning until 9 p.m. So we're watching the southwest edge of that circulation there, southwest edge of that cell, I should say, and that moving towards the northeast, coming towards Pine Hill, as well as into Beckville. So heads up, a possible tornado coming your way. Then up into Texarkana, as Chris mentioned, that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Just a line of strong wind now coming across Texarkana. Interesting little feature on the southwest side of all of that. We'll keep our eyes on that. Then Howard and Sevier counties under warning right now for a possible tornado, and then a downstream warning as well. That into Pike County. We're now into western parts of Arkansas. And what we're looking at here is a circulation that is now between Dirks and Nashville, moving northeast about 50 miles per hour. So that coming towards Reed and Daisy and Lodi in the longer term here. So a possible tornado along with that. Then another tornado warning into Montgomery, Scott, and Yell counties until 8:45. Very well defined broad circulation right there. So, it's not tight. Tightness is part of what really gets us worried. It's not tight, it's broad, but it's strong. And sometimes when it's strong, it can manage to tighten up there. And it looks like we have a brand new tornado warning that has just come out downstream. That tornado warning for Logan, Perry, and Yell counties until 9:30. Motion here is northeast at 60 miles per hour, 60 miles per hour. So you're talking about highway speed. And let's take a look. And in that last scan, it actually did circulation as it moves to the northeast, and that is going to be coming up towards Gravelly, as well as towards Bluffton and towards Rover as well. Briggsville, Rover, Danville, all those areas you want to get to your safe place right now. Lowest, most interior room as a possible tornado is now coming your way. Now looking at the correlation coefficient, I'm not seeing any evidence of debris at this time, but again, that is a robust area of circulation. So certainly looking at the possibility of a tornado coming up into those areas. Now let's take a look at where we're going to go from here and talk about the modeling here. And what we see going forward, this is into 11 o'clock tonight. I want you to notice the character of some of these storms. So right in there and right in there, you see this sort of a shape that looks a little bit like that. And that is a supercell storm. That's the model picking up on the fact that there's a lot of shear in the atmosphere. So these could be target areas from East Texas and Sabine River over into parts of Louisiana. And then very late tonight, we do expect to see more of a linear character to these storms, Chris. And so we expect that it's going to morph into more of a damaging wind threat overnight. But there's still going to be a lot of wind shear in place. So we may be looking at tornado warnings deep into the evening.
And Carl, it's not just on the discrete cells ahead of the line, is it? Because we're kind of seeing that with it, right? Now, sometimes that's the way it works. You have the discrete cells with all the juice, a lot of the atmosphere primed for it. But unfortunately, this is a time you can get tornadoes ahead and with the line.
Absolutely. Those discrete cells have more capacity to, take in all the shear that's occurring in the atmosphere and develop a circulation. But when you've got so much shear, which we do tonight, you can absolutely see rotating cells developing within the line. We call that QLCS. And yeah, we're going to see a lot of that tonight.
Well, let's take a look at some of the rotation we've already seen. With, of course, you have the overall storm rotating, and then you can get a funnel, if not a tornado. And of course, this a tornado in progress, Sulphur Springs, Texas. And just look at all of the debris being thrown far away from the center of this tornado, Carl.
Yeah, just, incredible view here, and you can very clearly see what's called the dust envelope there, the darker color, and then within that, the cloud that is being developed by the low pressure, that's the whitish area there, and just a really rapid motion on that tornado. Just violent tornadoes occurring across parts of the southern plains tonight.
We're headed to the playground.
Yeah, we're going to the playground.
Have fun.
Just like that.
You think I've never been to the playground?
Shop Best Buy and experience the magic of giving the perfect gift.
Hey, Bug. I know you don't like voicemails, but I hope you're doing great. I wish I was with you. You are so brave. Just keep getting out there. And I hope you know how lucky I am to be your dad.
Toyota. Let's go places.
It's Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days. Every Monday, huge deals will go live. Join Walmart Plus and you can shop online 7 hours early. So the only question is it Monday yet? That's Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days.
Have you seen my new phone yet? It folds in half.
I would never switch to Samsung. I love my phone.
What?
Folds in half. You see, I love my phone. I would never switch to Samsung.
What's that taste like, Pops?
You never had a Guinness?
It looks dark and heavy.
It's actually light on its feet and smooth as velvet. Like you when you played ball.
Did he used to be a tennis player?
Sure, kid.
This holiday, make no mistake, everything here is Philadelphia cheesecake. Cheesecake is everything. Bake your own.
Hi, William Shatner here. It's the Medicare annual enrollment period, and this year, it's simple. 1, before the deadline, call the number below. 2, check your zip code for a Medicare Advantage plan with prescriptions, dental care, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month. 3, you'll find out what you're eligible for. AEP has a deadline. Call now. I called to find a plan that covers more of my dental expenses.
I call every year to make sure my doctor is still in my plan.
I called to find a plan with lower copays.
I called to see if my zip code has a plan with the benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I call every year to make sure my plan's copays didn't go up.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. You should too. AEP has a deadline, so don't delay. Call now.
Call 1-800-975-4570. That's 1-800-975-4570 now.
COP27, the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Watch the Weather Channel for COP27 updates throughout the day, or dive even deeper on the Pattern Channel with comprehensive coverage and a daily recap at 8 Eastern. COP27. Get complete coverage starting Monday on the Weather Channel and Pattern.
Currently in our area, 60 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 58, winds light and variable. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 76, winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy early with increasing clouds overnight, low 61, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Breaking right now here on the Weather Channel. New video coming in right now of the tornado that went through Sulphur Springs. And as we look at it, Carl, we're seeing this now for the first time. I want to do a little drawing on it and let me know if you agree or jump in if you think I'm close here or a little off here. Looks like the main funnel right through here, the condensation funnel with that air, the low pressure going up, you're getting condensation. Looks like maybe the wall cloud up here with a broader rotation that would be in there, then of course the funnel, and then some of the debris coming on around the outside of it. Carl, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes that what you see at the base there near the top of the tornado is what's called the collar cloud. But you're right, that's an extension.
This bit right here?
Yes. Well, no, I mean where what looks like a wall. Yeah. It can actually be referred to as a collar cloud sometimes. In that, you're right. I think that's an extension of the larger rotation that that's occurring there. And certainly you can see the two different the tubes essentially. There's the cloud in the middle, which is condensation. So that is formed because low pressure condenses moisture in the atmosphere. But then there's a sheath around that of dust, what's called the dust envelope right in there. And that's that sort of darkness that and tornadoes take on a lot of different appearances based on where the light is. In this case, it is what we call backlit, and that's pretty common. And so it has that darker appearance. But if you had the sun to your back, which you see a little bit more of in this case, you can see some of the lightness from the cloud in the central part of the tornado there. But just a really significant tornado. I mean, there's violent motion at the base of that thing, and we've seen really significant damage as a result of that, Chris.
And you see some of the debris that's being kicked up. And keep in mind, you got looks like some big oak trees out there. Try to give it some scale, how far away this is. What looks almost like you might think there's some leaves flying around. These could be big chunks of trees. Right, as far away as that is. And it's always remarkable too, Carl, I think, when you see the actual funnel and then around it you see some of the rising air and how high some of that debris gets up. And oftentimes you hear a story of debris being found miles away, get kicked up and brought along right with the storm.
Yeah, and that's how we see debris in tornadoes. Unless the tornado is right on the radar, the beam is getting higher and higher as you get farther away because of the curvature of the earth. And so, by the time it gets to the storm, it has to be a really significant storm to grab that debris or to be seen by the radar, and that's exactly what we saw earlier tonight. We saw that debris.
When we look at the correlation coefficient.
Exactly right.
Right. You're looking for stuff like that. We don't know exactly what that is, parts of buildings or parts of vegetation. You're looking for that that's getting lofted up here because remember the radar beam is coming up higher in the cloud. The radar is, unless it's right on top of the tornado's right on top of the radar, most of the time the radar beam's going over the tornado. So it's the debris that gets lofted up there that the radar can detect is not a raindrop or hail.
And there's another important point there. You notice that there's a little bit of a tilt to the tornado, and so a lot of times we point out broadly where that circulation is, but it can be very problematic to get down really, really tight tight in terms of mapping because of that angling that's occurring. You can see where the circulation is at 5 to 10,000 feet, but you might not know exactly where it is on the ground.
What you were saying, I believe, Carl, is that like say the tornado's on the ground down here, right? But the radar may be seeing the circulation over here. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly right. Exactly right. So, you have to be broader about it. It can be difficult to get really, really tight when you're looking at radar. But, that is a well-developed tornado there. I mean, that really is a fierce tornado there. Certainly one of the strongest we've seen in a long, long time.
And whenever you see this, it just does remind you how destructive and powerful these storms are and how big they are, too, and how quickly they can come through and just eat up the landscape.
Yeah, they're so violent, and there's also inflow. There's very strong wind that's going into the center of the tornado, and then there's vertical motion as well. And it's a very complicated dynamic when you get a tornado like this. In fact, there have been computer simulations that have been run, and what's really amazing about this is that even though it has the appearance of being a single entity, in fact, what it is a series of smaller rotations that are all kind of feeding into this larger rotation and rotating about each other. I mean, if you could see all of the motion that was occurring there, it would look like a tangle of snakes or something. Basically, it's not just one circulation.
And sometimes if you look on the edges, you can see, maybe not exactly that, but you can see how there seems to be some like erratic behavior with the stuff that you're seeing in the air here, and how there's also still that ongoing rising air, that rising motion as this tornado is tearing across the land here. We are tracking a couple tornado warnings, several severe thunderstorm warnings, long night ahead of a lot of the area here in the U.S.
Some people like to talk into microphones. We prefer dropping them. The MDX Type S, a new era of premium performance.
Technically, when enamel is gone, you cannot get it back, but there are ways you can repair it. I'm excited about Pronamel Repair because it penetrates deep into the tooth to help actively repair acid-weakened enamel. I recommend Pronamel Repair to my patients.
Confused about the best beauty care products for your skin? Here are some common myths. Myth 1. All you need is hemorrhoid cream for under eye bags. Actually, hemorrhoid cream can cause irritation and clogged pores, even thinning of the skin around the eyes. Myth 2. Makeup can reduce the appearance of wrinkles. Actually, makeup can dry out the skin and cause creases, which enhance the appearance of wrinkles. Myth 3. The only way to reduce wrinkles and crow's feet is expensive injections or costly procedures. But there are alternatives. Plexiderm makes a clinically proven, safe, and easy-to-use serum that lets you experience enhanced beauty in just 10 minutes, not weeks.
I've had under-eye bags for a very long time, and it sucks. I have spent so much money on tons of eye creams, eye gels. Finally, I tried something called Plexiderm. And I'm not joking. It works.
It's amazing. My friends, my family, they can't believe it. There's been creams, there's been lotions, concealers. Nothing works like this. And in just a few minutes, it's amazing. Hi, I'm Tiffany, and this is what Plexiderm did for me.
Get a convenient trial kit this Thanksgiving for the low cost of $14.95 plus free shipping. Plexiderm Rapid Reduction Serum is formulated with our proprietary blend of naturally derived silicate minerals from shale clay that form a safe and effective temporary firming layer on your skin, giving you visible, youthful results in minutes, which last for hours. Plexiderm is highly effective at reducing the look of wrinkles, crow's feet, under eye bags, dark circles, and more in just 10 minutes, or your money back. Act now for this special one-time trial kit for only $14.95 with no further commitments. Plus, get free shipping. If after using Plexiderm you're not showing your best face to the world, we'll refund your money. No questions asked. Try Plexiderm for $14.95 this Thanksgiving. Order online at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
These must have cost a fortune.
Nope, it was actually less than we expected.
Oh, they have old floors at home.
It's time to love your floors. Lumber Liquidators is now LL Flooring. Right now, save up to 15% on waterproof floors.
Right now, here is a live look. Texarkana, Arkansas, 71 degrees, a lot of lightning right now. Still watching some very strong storms moving through the area. Severe thunderstorm warning, including the east side of town here, and tornado warnings north of Texarkana and west of Little Rock right now. Not including Little Rock right now, but there are several storms, several parts of a line of storms that do have warnings associated with them. Again, tornado warnings. We've seen several tornadoes already today in Texas, in Arkansas. Fortunately, damage has been the result of some of these tornadoes, and this is some of that in Sulphur Springs, Texas. We've also been showing you here on the Weather Channel some of the tornadoes as they were in progress. We'll show you more of that video and analyze the video and explain to you and show you why the radar is only part of the story when warning on these storms that can have such dire consequences, unfortunately. And Carl, right now we started last hour with about a half dozen tornado warnings. Right now, a couple tornado warnings. Is that, you think, maybe the beginning